Good day, you precious people. I am delighted you chose to spend a few minutes with me today to contemplate the goodness of our God. You know, the reason He created us in the first place is that we might delight in Him and bond with Him heart to heart. So you have chosen wisely to be here today. And although we don't deserve His favor, God still lavishes us with immeasurable love. Well, okay, I admit it. I think I must be an old fogey who just doesn't get it. But I fail to understand this generation that is obsessed with tattoos. When I was growing up, the only people with tattoos were Navy veterans and people who were seriously enmeshed in the lower classes of society. But now, tattoos are all the rage. And while I understand how fads can come, I am old enough to have seen many fads go. But tattoos do not go away as easily as fads do. So while you may enjoy your ink while the fad is in, you'll be stuck with it when the fad goes out. A tattoo is for life. Although I understand there are now tattoo removal services popping up, which seems to me a painful and costly end to a mistake that could have been easily avoided. Perhaps it's a sign that the age of ink is coming to an end. Oh, who knows? Now, if you have a tattoo, that is just fine with me. It's your body and you have the right to mark it up as you see fit. But I just hope that you're happy with it. I hope you still love it when the ink begins to spread and the skin begins to wrinkle with age. I hope you still love it long after the fad has gone poof. A few years ago, a teenage daughter of a friend said she was thinking of getting a tattoo once she turned 18, and she asked what I thought about that. I said, there's no tattoo prettier than the skin God gave you. My advice, don't mess it up. Now, I fully understand that this is a cultural preference on my part. You may disagree with my opinion, and that's just fine. And the fact of the matter is, tattoos have been around for thousands of years. It's an ancient art of self-expression and was very common in East and Mideast cultures. And like today, tattoos then were used, especially by illiterate people, to commemorate important life events. Being illiterate, there was no way to write about the things of great import to you, like in a memoir or a diary, but you could etch a symbol on your hand or arm as a constant reminder. Think of an ancient mother, illiterate, who tattoos a symbol for each of her children on her hand, so that even when they are far from home, the mother would look and remember them. It would be something she would see and look at every day, a constant reminder, impossible to forget. And as I understand it, this was a very typical practice in the Mideast for thousands of years. Now, keep this cultural reference in mind as I share with you the following passage from Isaiah 49, verses 13 through 16. This was written very soon after Judah had been destroyed by the Babylonian Empire because of their sin. Because of that sin, the country was in ruin. Jerusalem was in ashes. The brightest and best of them carried away as slaves into exile. Troubling times indeed. But hear what Isaiah writes. Shout for joy, you heavens. Rejoice, you earth. Burst into song, you mountains, for the Lord comforts his people and will have compassion on his afflicted ones. But Zion said, the Lord has forsaken me, the Lord has forgotten me. Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Isaiah begins this passage with a call for praise, but the people feel they have been forgotten by God. Look at what they have to endure. This is a time for lament, not for praise. God has turned his back on us. We are forgotten. But God responds, can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? You know, if you are a parent, then you know there is an unbreakable bond between you and that child. I cannot conceive of anything coming between me and the love of my children. And this is the picture of the kind of love God has for his people, for you and me. Consider the love of a parent for a child and multiply it to an infinite degree. And then you begin to understand the love God has for you. But like Zion, like the people of Israel, circumstances may lead you to conclude that God has forgotten you. Times are tough. This pandemic is crushing. Perhaps you're sick. Perhaps loved ones have died. Did you lose your job? Are the bills unpaid? Where is God in all this mess? He must have forgotten me. God insists it isn't so. He admits that although it's hypothetically possible for a mother to forget the child she nurses, still that is not the case with him. In verse 16 he says, "See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands." God remembers. He has engraved you, tattooed your name on the palm of his hands. A constant reminder of your importance to him, impossible to forget. And so, as Isaiah said, we can return to praise, even in these difficult times. For as verse 13 says, "For the Lord comforts his people and will have compassion on his afflicted ones." So, okay, maybe tattoos aren't so bad after all. But just remember, like the love of God, they are never going away. Rejoice, dear ones, even in difficult times, for you are not forgotten, and the deliverance of God is at hand. Bless you, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.